worship in nectar devotion, it emphasized that Akhila Rasamrita Shri Vigraha Murti. Who is Krishna? When we get attracted by his quality, we should think like this. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead who possesses all six opulences in complete. His qualities are so attractive, so enchanting, so endearing, so incredibly inspiring that no one can resist but worship such a person. Everybody understood who Krishna is? This is called Bhajaniya Sarda Sadguna Vishishta. Jiva Goswami says Krishna's quality is incredibly attractive, inspiring. Even if demon actually find out, they will give up demoniac nature and surrender and love him. Who would not love him? He is such a attractive, enchanting characteristics person. So today's chapter is Jnana and Vairagya. Have you ever wondered why there is a one chapter is written on that particular? When we have completed Vidhi Bhakti, and we are going to enter into Raganuga Bhakti, and we discuss that at this moment in our life, most of you are all in New Orleans, maybe some are in Alachua and North Carolina, I don't know where everybody is. Generally, mostly New Orleans audience in the Zoom, right? That area, maybe somebody from New York there also, maybe not. But we understood that whatever practice of sadhana we are doing, it is to obtain the bhava, and then we will get the love of Godhead, Krishna Prem. Everybody understood that, right? And that sadhana bhakti is two types we discuss. Vaidhi sadhana means regulative principles you follow. What does that mean? Who does Vaidhi sadhana? Ask yourself. You do have a fear, don't you? If I don't practice properly, I may go down from human life. I don't want to go down. Majority person in this world, they go to church for the same purpose. They don't want to go to hell. They want to go to heaven. To secure this position, not to go to hell and go to heaven, they want to practice some kind of rituals, and that is also sadhana. It is not only for the Hare Krishnas. This nectar devotion is for all the religious principle. Even the Muslim faith, they bow down to God 5 times a day. Wherever the Mecca is, wherever they are, they are facing towards the Mecca and bow down. So all these rules, regulation has a potential to evoke your bhava, that which is in a dormant state within your heart. And then we discussed that bhava will arise by practicing sadhana, but what kind of sadhana we practice will, you think will awake that kind of bhava, or the bhava already we have, only will get that one? Now if you look at the verse, it says, sadhane bhavibe jaha, siddhite paibe taha. Jadrishi jadrishi bhavana jasya siddhir bhavati tadrishi. All these verses are emphasizing this. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says, Amake to je bhakto bhaje je bhave, tare se bhave bhoji emor svabhave. That means whatever mood you endeavor externally and internally, whatever mood you developing in relation, you will obtain that. Now my question is, are you going to become You will discover who you are, or you going to adapt and become someone you want to be. Which one? Did it make sense what I'm saying? Are you going to discover by doing sadhana, when bhava arises, it becomes thai bhava. That's who you are. Are you going to discover who you are, true self, or are you going to meditate and become someone you want to be? Which one?
Discover who you are.
Discover who you are. Who is saying that? Okay, very good. But it will appear like we just attracted to that concept of relationship. You follow? It will appear like just like Maharaj Kulashekar. Just like Maharaj Kulashekar, he was so much enchanted by the Ram Leela, even though Ram Leela took place million years back. But he was so attracted by hearing, he actually thought that Ravana just kidnapped Sita. And he ordered ministers to get all the battalion, soldier, armies. We are going to kill Ravana. How dare he kidnap our mother Sita? And he started marching. He was so absorbed, he started marching and he came all the way to the beach in South India. When he came and he entered into the water, what else can you do? When king is doing, all the ministers, soldiers, they just follow, thousands of them. When the water went up to the neck, Lord Ram, Sita and Lakshman had to appear in front of them in the water. He said, oh, don't worry, Sita is recovered. Now you go back and Ravan is already killed. Now you go back and celebrate a big festival, Ram Vijay. Now you think like, wow, is this real true story? Yes. You know that book Prabhupada wrote called Mukunda Mala Stotram? Do you know there is a book Prabhupada wrote called Mukunda Mala Stotram? Yes, there is a one book Prabhupada wrote. He finished halfway. And there is another book he wrote, Naradiya Bhakti Stutra. Those has a fascination story. And this is the story of Kulashekar, his book. Prabhupada was so fascinated. So it appears like later on, same Kulashekar, when he heard about Mother Jashoda's love for Krishna, he was so enchanted. He said, oh my God, he would cry even. Wait, how did he go from Ram Leela to Krishna, Mother Jashoda's servant Leela, like he was posing as a servant. So like this, you can explore. There is no harm. Everybody understood? There is no harm in future. If you want to explore, it's okay. And if you say, well, Prabhupada never spoke to this, that's not true at all. You look at in Vedabase, Prabhupada asked Tamal Krishna Maharaj, where is Birabhadra? And then Tamal Krishna Maharaj says, he is playing outside, Prabhupada. He is thinking he is Arjuna. He is in the battlefield. Now Prabhupada said, well, we are not Mayavadi. Call him. So then Prabhupada spoke to him. It is in the Vedabase, you can see the dialogue, Prabhupada and Birabhadra. Prabhupada said, so what are you doing? He said, oh, I am with the bow and arrow. I'm like, want to fight like Arjuna. Prabhupada said, no, you don't act like Arjuna. We don't become Arjuna. You can assist Arjuna. That is the only difference Prabhupada said. Don't think you can become Lalita Sakhi. You can become Subal. That is Mayavadi conception. You don't become someone. Everybody understood that? Mother Shailaja? You don't become someone. You can assist them. You can become their friend or servant and you can enter into spiritual lila. So Prabhupada encouraged. I know few stories. Prabhupada encouraged. Prabhupada never says we should not concentrate or meditate on that. It's not a taboo. So anyway, then today's subject matter is Jnana and Vairagya. Why in the middle This Jnana and Vairagya doesn't sound like a Raganuga Bhakti or Vaidhi Bhakti. It sounds like, oh gosh, is it like a sannyasi, Jnana and Vairagya renunciation? No! It is the transformation from your material condition where you are in New Orleans or New Taliban, wherever you are. You want to meditate and absorb in relation with Krishna while you are chanting and serving. You want to develop that mood. You want to serve the Lord. Then you need some key points. Is Abhigyan Prabhu there? Did he? Okay. Oh, I don't see your face. Okay, good. Abhigyan Prabhu, if you want to go to Delhi from, you live in Alachua, say Gainesville, you want to go to Delhi. If you want to go to Delhi, now you have the ticket and the airplane is also good functioning going to go. But it will fly from Orlando. What is important in this case? Going to Orlando airport from Gainesville, or you have to have the ticket and passport? That's the most important. Which one is?
That is important.
Huh?
Going to Delhi is important, doesn't matter how.
Going to Delhi is important, but question is, if a plane is leaving in 3 hours and you are still in Alachua, you think you will be there in Delhi, right?
Yeah, no, it won't be possible.
Or you need to go to Orlando airport.
Yes. First thing first.
So which one? So which one is important?
Get passport, get ticket, then go to the airport, and then
So you are saying everything is important.
Yes.
We should focus the goal. Very good answer. We should focus the goal. But our day-to-day life, if I am here in Florida and I have a desire and I want to become pure devotee, I want to have a relationship with the Lord, at the same time I also want to enjoy the material world, we have to pay attention on both. We cannot be artificial. We have to be very clear, honest. So that to resolve this chapter is emphasized. This chapter is emphasized that what is the transformation from wherever you are and where you want to go, you have to pay some attention. So with that note, we are going to start chapter 14, and I made some notes from Prabhupada's summarizing this. So first thing, Prabhupada mentioned about Jnana and Vairagya. Everybody heard that word. Can somebody say what's the meaning of Jnana and Vairagya from the audience? What is Jnana means?
Knowledge.
Knowledge. Good. Vairagya? Mother Gopika Devi? Did you ever heard the word Vairagya means?
Renunciation maybe.
Very good. Yes, very good. See, you all are already scholars. You know Sanskrit. Vairagya. Vairagya means renunciation. Good. You have to be familiar with those little words. It will help you. It has a deep meaning, that's why. So Srila Prabhupada explains this. The Jnana, cultivation of knowledge, and Vairagya, cultivation of detachment, may preliminarily help a new devotee to focus on Krishna by freeing him or her, destructing attraction to sense object. Do you know how much time to get Krishna Prem from where you are today, and how much distance is Krishna Prem? The moment you give up all the material enjoyment spirit, you get in spiritual. So it is important to acknowledge where we are, why we do things we do. We feel attraction for material enjoyment, how to purify this, not to ignore it. This is the chapter. This is a very beautiful chapter. Even though it sounds like Jnana Vairagya is like how this is related to bhakti. Okay. Then Prabhupada writes, however, in practicing Jnana and Vairagya, one's mind is not directly fixed on Krishna. Now if you only practice Jnana and Vairagya, you'll miss focusing on Krishna. So we are not focusing on Jnana Vairagya. See how it is technically, we are going to put it together with both your help and my understanding, explanation. It is absorbed in philosophical discrimination between matter and spirit. In your spiritual practice, what is the first thing you should think? Who you are. Say you took the Japamala. What is the first thing you will think? Who are you? Somebody please answer me.
You are Atma.
You are Atma. Very good. Don't think you are a servant of Krishna first thing. First thing you think you are spirit, Prabhupada said. Means you are not this body. You are not the product of this world. You belong to spiritual world. You are at the essential of your existence, you are pure spirit, consciousness. Then next you think you are servant of Krishna. If you think you are servant of Krishna, you still mix up your body relation, you cannot separate. So first thing you think you are not product of this world. You are spirit. Very good. Now, this kind of fanaticism exists even in ISKCON. I remember in Mayapur one time, there was a one strict brahmachari, and near the Lotus building, maybe 82, 83, 1982, 83, it was a long time back. Then I remember there was one Mataji also came to wash her hand. After Charanamrita, you go outside and wash your hand. Those days, the temple was under Lotus building. The present temple was not there. So that Mataji Sharif touched that brahmachari's cloth and he freaked out. He was like screaming. And we were upstairs like, what happened? We knew he's a strict brahmachari. He said, how dare she touches my dhoti. Now you think this is only in Mayapur, Bengali brahmachari fanatic. No, it's also here in America. Used to be. Now it's not too many brahmachari anywhere. You see mostly grihasthas. There was a famous devotee, maybe I can tell you the name, Kusakrita Prabhu. He is a scholar. He is a genius scholar. He wrote, translated so many books. He is an American-born body, very sweet devotee, very genius. Prabhupada loved him. Because the Matajis are sitting on the staircase and he has to go upstairs, he would not go upstairs, he will not come down through the staircase, he would climb down through the bathroom pipe outside from the roof. He went to the roof and climbing down. Pushkar Prabhu told me the story. He was like that kind of freak. He never wanted to see the face of any Matajis. Now these things are immature obstacle in life. You may say, well, I'm not that kind of fanatic. But in your mind, when you see opposite sex or a nice sense object, nice car or nice ice cream or nice pizza or something, your mouth immediately saliva comes. It's the same concept. More we understand this clearly, then we can withdraw. So now I'm going to tell you what Prabhupada further giving the solution on this. Prabhupada writes, they may be detrimental to the cultivation of devotion. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad warns that Jnana and Vairagya can make the heart harder and harder. A materially attached person has many emotions that impel him towards sense gratification. Vairagya involves making the heart callous and indifferent to these emotions so that one will not be moved by them. Now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur very interestingly, Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave a nice example. I'm going to ask a question and someone going to answer. Somebody new who is not answering yet. Maybe Mother Bhagavati Devi. If you are given a chance to stay 1 year during your sadhana with one of the two persons, one person, his name is, say her name. Her name is Semadasi. Semadasi only likes strict brahmacharini life, but she does not meditate on Krishna. She believes God is beyond the material world, which is true, and she doesn't want to focus on God. She just likes that concept that God is beyond the material world. Nothing to do, enjoyment in the material world. She is like a completely restrained everything. So with her you're going to stay 1 year, you have no choice. And the other choice you have, the other Mataji Krishna Dasi. She likes watching movies, she likes chanting, she likes enjoyments, ice cream. But the other one, but she also likes to hear about Krishna Lila, she talks about Krishna's pastime. She is into it, material enjoyment, spiritual enjoyment, and the other one, no enjoyment, anything. Who would you choose to stay 1 year? You have a 30 seconds to answer. Mother Bhagavati Devi.
The enjoyment one, the Krishna one.
Why?
Because
Your answer is correct, but you have to explain why. Can you imagine Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote a song about it? You like sense enjoyment. What is your answer?
because she do it for Krishna and
No, but she likes also
makes
sense
her all
enjoyment.
senses.
I don't mean like she only likes Krishna. She likes sense enjoyment also. She going to go outside, watch a movie and come back, chant her rounds and do this. She wants to enjoy material, spiritual, the enjoyment spirit all the time with her. And the other person don't want to enjoy, restrain everything, strict and very pakka.
Yeah, maybe if she do her service nicely, she might give up her material enjoyment one day.
You are very close answer. Very good. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, because in spiritual ultimate concept of God is dynamic, enjoyment spirit. So, if you restrain and you want to devoid pleasure-seeking nature, then you are actually going against your own nature. Because ultimately, Krishna is the enjoyer. It's not our conception of spiritual world is dynamic, not static. You follow? So this is good answer. Yes, you rather want to be with those people who has this kind of spirit of enjoyment. Not that we support sense enjoyment, but at least better than those are dry, renunciate, who doesn't want to talk about Krishna Lila, doesn't want to talk about Krishna's enjoyment, how Krishna enjoying in spiritual world. Only talk about just restrict, strict, control your senses and get out. Yes, very good. Very thoughtful, very nice. Then I have another question. Who is going to answer? Let's see. Bhagavat Prabhu. Are you ready, Prabhu?
We have a question on your previous comment.
Yes, Prabhu.
So that could be possible that somebody who is not willing to enjoy is not because of he or she is fanatic, but it's just because he may be scared of himself. If he may slip into it. So that's why he has just created a boundary. So I just want to know your thoughts on it.
That's a good way to thinking, but in reality, if somebody has no interest to hear about Krishna's pastime and Krishna's enjoyment, then what is the attraction will bring us to there? If we only think that, oh, betrayal, everything is bad, so let's punish the senses, and yes, we want to discipline the senses, but we also want to hear the Krishna's pastime, how Krishna is enjoying there. So because the sense enjoyment is a reflection, but the restraining is not natural for the soul, because soul has also senses. It's not that material body has a senses, soul has a senses also. It makes sense? It's more equipped with that spirit than restraining. Lock up, go merge into Brahman. What do? Nothing. How is the soul will be happy there? That's why they will fall down. That verse is there. Arujya krichena param patam patanti adha anadrita jusmat angraya. Because they did not adore Krishna's lotus feet, Krishna's beautiful pastime, they fall down again. So we don't want to be dry renunciation. Is that okay, Prabhu? Okay. Bhagavat Prabhu, you ready to answer? What is the difference between Gyan and Bhakti as per reading Bhagavad Gita? When you read Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or Nectar of Devotion, are you getting Gyan, knowledge, or Bhakti? Which one are you getting, Prabhu?
You're getting...
You have to fill it up, the sentence.
You're getting Bhakti.
You're getting what?
Bhakti.
How am I getting Bhakti? What's the difference?
Because you are reading to know, to understand who is Krishna and understand his qualities and stuff.
That is still knowledge. Anyone would like to try?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, can I try?
Yes.
I think that you get knowledge by reading those books.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody please write it down. Srila Prabhupada says, when your guru tells you to read something, that is bhakti. It is not jnana anymore. We are not interested to be a jnani. But when you read on your own, for your own interest, that is jnana. Everybody made it very clear? When you have a under guidance, you remember to understand what you have to do? Stand under. Very good. So that means if your guru, because Prabhupada wanted us to read this Nectar of Devotion, it is bhakti. Now if somebody read on their own, they will not get bhakti. That will be knowledge only, jnana. So very interesting. Okay, now next is...
But how, Prabhuji? What's the difference?
What's the difference? In the heart. The essence of the book will be revealed as you go. You see, I hope you heard that story of the South Indian Brahmana who did not know how to read even. But his guru told him to read Bhagavad Gita every day. And he was reading Bhagavad Gita every day. And but he did not know how to read, so he's looking at the book this way, that way, and the other Brahmanas are laughing. and other Brahmanas are laughing, so then he kind of so much absorbed following his Guru's instruction. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came there. He said, Prabhupada make a very nice comment. He said, sir, I see you are trying to read Bhagavad Gita. He said, yes. He said, so what is your realization? He said, I do not know how to read, but my Guru wants me to read, so I am trying to understand. But every time, he didn't know that this is he speaking to God, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, every time I look at this, I overwhelmed with the feeling that absolute truth, supreme personality, he gave up his Bhagavan position and he became a knocker, servant of Arjuna to drive his chariot out of his affection for his devotee. Unbelievable how supreme absolute Bhagavan, supreme God, give up his position as God to, out of affection, become a chariot driver. This is overwhelming, and I cry because it is overwhelming that how possible, how much love he has for the Lord, for his devotee. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, he already understood the essence of Bhagavad Gita, even though he didn't read. You follow? How did he get it? By the Guru's mercy. So long we should endeavor to follow Guru's order, but realization will come by their mercy. They will give from within. Okay, next we are going to go to Yukta Vairagya. Srila Prabhupada writes, mental speculator neglects the process of devotional service, and by simply trying to defeat others in philosophical research, they fail to develop the ecstasy of devotion. Now, on Yukta Vairagya, I want somebody to explain me this sloka, because I mentioned that Srila Rupa Goswami Pad quotes the 11th canto 11.20.32 to show that detachment and knowledge automatically comes from bhakti. He then imparts his famous Yukta Vairagya verse, Anasaptasya vishayan jataraham upajunjata nirbandha krishna sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam uchyate. Who knows the translation? I asked everybody to memorize that sloka. Someone? When one is... Go ahead.
What is exactly the shloka, Prabhu?
This, you are today new. Gopal Radhe Prabhu will send you the handbook. Then you will know. It's in the handbook of the student's handbook. It's from Nectar Devotion.
Thank you so much.
And so, proper translation is, when one is not attached to anything, but at the same time accept everything in relation to Krishna, one is rightly situated above possessiveness. Now I have another question. In this connection, how to understand where I am today in my material attachment and where I want to go, spiritual attachment. So see who can answer. I want to eat nice pizza because I like pizza. Now I should offer it, I know. Is that devotional? Is this bhakti or it is my selfish sense enjoyment? Come on.
Selfish sense enjoyment.
Selfish sense enjoyment. Everybody agrees with her? Rico Ali, do you know pizza? Do you know pizza? Did you ever eat pizza, Prabhu?
Yes.
Okay. If you love pizza and you offer it to Krishna, is this devotional renunciation or it is your sense enjoyment? Now one Mataji said it is sense enjoyment. Do you agree with her or you have different opinion?
I would say if you offered it in love and devotion.
Very good. Very good. Mother Vishnupriya Rikoyali is correct. Even if you have a desire to enjoy something, if you offer it to Krishna, what will disappear? Your karma to enjoy separately that taste will disappear and Krishna connection will stay. Everybody remember? Everybody understood the point? Even if you have a desire, something material, which is common, you don't have to hide. Everybody has some material desire all the time. Try to offer it to Krishna. Then it gets purified. Otherwise it will be artificial. One devotee even told me, I won't say the name, he said, I don't eat in the temple. They have just too much, what they call sour cream, they put too much. I said, but that's prasadam. He said, no, I like my own, I just make and offer it. So then other devotee says, well, that's not bhakti, you're supposed to. I said, why not? Who said this? If he thinks something is good, and that's why he eats it, and he wants to offer that good to Krishna, then it will transform into bhakti. Everybody understood? Two ways you can offer your heart. You can offer your heart by asking what pleases Krishna. That is good, best. But if you say, well, I like something, I think this is better than what they offer in temple, then offer what you like. This will eventually bring you to Krishna. Everybody got it? Anybody has question, comment, or you understood that point? Good.
Prabhuji, the only downfall on this thinking is then you will offer everything to Krishna and you still enjoy senses. And you say everything is for Krishna.
Yes, but the power of bhakti is so powerful, so potent, it will purify your heart. And I agree from my own experience, I see this. I had a lot of attachment, believe me. Even I used to get scared when I tried to purify. But then it all disappears. Because of power of bhakti. Have a strong faith, what Prabhupada is saying. Strong faith. Whatever you have desire, don't be artificial, ignoring them. No, utilize them. Engage them. Please write it down. We don't want to demonize the world. We don't want to exploit or romanticize the world. You know romanticize? Some people like everything they see, oh my God, it's so nice house, I can enjoy there. Oh, she's so beautiful. Oh, he's so handsome. Oh, look at the park, it's so nice, we can walk around. Oh, look at the Disney, it's such a nice, we can go on a ride. Everything they see, they romanticize the world. You know their name? You know who they are called? Karmi. Karmi means they romanticize the world. So we don't want to romanticize the world and we don't want demonizing the world. Demonizing means, oh, this is bad. These people are bad, they eat hot dog. You're like demonizing the whole world. Everything is bad, the whole world is bad. It's like you feel like, I want to express the whole world is terrible, horrible. We are the only best one. Be very careful. Do not demonize the world. Do not romanticize the world. What you should do then? Utilize the world for Krishna, pleasing Krishna. That's the bottom line of this chapter. It's very nice. I'm just giving you in a gist code, in a short. Prabhupada writes, what is the danger of false renunciation? He gives the answer, one should not give up anything which can be utilized in the service of the Lord. Okay, let's pick somebody. Who can we pick? Somebody volunteer, please. I'm going to ask you a question and you have to answer, that's all. This is simple. Mother Manjari Devi, can you give me the answer? I will ask you a question, okay? Can you hear me? Mother Manjari?
Yes.
Okay. Just imagine you are walking in a beautiful public road and you're going to temple and there's a beautiful flower and you have a two girlfriend devotee, one is Samadasi, one is Krishna Dasi, and the flower is moving such a way, it's so attractive. It belongs to public, you can pluck it and offer it, but Krishna Dasi says, don't waste your time. We are going to temple, we go to temple. Come on, no need to go here, there. And Krishna, who did I say? Krishna Dasi. Okay, Samadasi saying, no, this beautiful flower, it will look beautiful to Krishna in the altar, in the temple. Let's take it. And Krishna Dasi said, Manjari Dasi, no, I don't want you to take flower. It's public road, just leave it. We're going to temple, we're going to temple. Who you going to listen? And who you going to act upon order or friendship? Who you going to listen?
You will listen to the one that says to offer to Krishna.
Very good, wonderful. You have a wonderful answer. Yes. Anytime you see that can be offered to Krishna, do not hesitate. You should offer it immediately to Krishna. Hanuman, when Hanuman went to Lanka, he did not know how the Ravana looks like. So he's going hidingly from this house to this house before he didn't even know where Sita Devi is. So he looked through the one window and he saw a handsome man, a big giant handsome body, such a handsome guy. He has a beautiful body, macho, very attractive. And he has hundreds of girls, all are lying down, they are all resting, and he is like a hero of the whole play. And Hanuman is thinking, oh my God, if I can make him devotee of Ram, all these girls will be delivered, and he will be delivered. You know who he was talking? He did not know. Can you imagine who he was imagining? Anybody would guess? That was Ravana. Later on he found out. But this is the mentality of Hanuman. This is how we should have mentality. If you feel attracted to another boy or girl, you say, let's make him devotee. Prabhupada said this. Prabhupada said one devotee wrote a letter to Prabhupada, oh, we got a daughter born. Prabhupada said, that's very nice. So my disciple, they didn't have a son, they have a daughter. Now the daughter will catch young man and make him devotee. This is the mentality of Prabhupada, and we have to adapt it. You follow? And then if you have a son, you say, okay, he's going to marry a girl, he is going to make her devotee. Always you think how to make other devotee, then Krishna will be happy. Everybody understanding the concept? This is what this chapter is all about. How to engage. We are not romanticizing, we are not criticizing or demonizing. Now, we are going to... When a wealthy person should accept as much as wealth as he requires to follow the rules, rituals and sustain his bhakti, accepting more or less than necessary is the cause of falling down, even from the highest level. One who is qualified for Vaidhi Bhakti may earn his livelihood by some proper means according to Varnashram Dharma. It is beneficial to accept wealth according to one's necessary. Accepting more than necessary results in attachment, which gradually destroys one's bhajan. It is not beneficial either to accept less than necessary. So this is very interesting. So if you have a desire, to make money, like me. So, I had this desire, and Krishna gave. But somehow or other, by the mercy of the Vaishnavas, I was curbed in a way. They introduced me TOBP, give donation here, there, and just somehow or other, you are driven. Otherwise, if you have a more than you need money, it can hurt you. It can divert you. So even you can get whatever you have desire if you want to get it, but make sure it is connecting with Krishna. Otherwise, it will become an obstacle in your life. Prabhupada also made another point here. Srila Prabhupada writes, a vegetarian is not necessarily a devotee, nor a non-violent person, but a devotee is automatically both vegetarian and non-violent. We must conclude therefore that the vegetarianism or non-violence is not the cause of devotion. So, who is going to answer? What causes bhakti? Brahmatirtha Prabhu, he lives in Gainesville, Prabhupada's disciple. So he went on a peace corps to India, and he saw the Westerner Hare Krishna, so he also came and they introduced him to Prabhupada. And he comes from a Jewish background, but he became vegetarian. So they introduced Prabhupada. This is Mr. Bob Cohen. You know the book called Perfect Question, Perfect Answer? That was him, Bob Cohen and Prabhupada. So then said, Prabhupada, this is Bob Cohen. He told me personally this story. And then he says, he's a vegetarian. What do you think? How Prabhupada would react? Anybody would guess how Prabhupada reacted? Just guess. You know what he says? He said the monkeys are vegetarian too. I never thought that, but it's true. Monkeys are vegetarian also. And he felt himself so low. He thought Prabhupada will be happy. Wow, American body, he's vegetarian, he's great. Wow. Prabhupada said, oh, the monkeys are vegetarian also. But that's not important. He said, you have to become devotee. Of course, he became initiated disciple. Him and his wife, Mother Bhakti, they both are wonderful devotees. So, point is, what causes bhakti? Not vegetarian, non-violence. Because people goes with this idea. Compassion, compassion, compassion. Then they ask the head of that sannyasi. I heard this, I saw in YouTube one time. And he says, you are talking about so much compassion, but you eating hot dog. He said, I don't kill. He said, but hot dog is coming from the violence, killing cow. He said, but I am not killing. He said, but what kind of teaching is this? You eating hot dog and you say non-violence, compassion. They don't have a conception. So we don't give credit so much for any of those things. We only give credit when somebody comes and do something for Krishna. We can encourage them to become devotee. But don't think like, oh my God, that person is so great. He helps so many poor people. Well, what's the use? He should cook prasadam and distribute to the poor people. Distributing food is not enough. Just like I mentioned in the beginning, these two girls came to my shop one time, many years back. They want me to help in Red Cross. And I said, what are you going to do? At that time there was a tsunami. He says, we are going to buy hot dog 1,000 package and drop it from the helicopter. I said, hot dog? You know where hot dog comes from? And where is heading? Where is taking you? You going to go to hell? You want me to go to hell also with you? What kind of charity is that? And I remember those two girls are like shocked. They said, what are you talking about? I said, I'm talking about the realistic philosophy, understanding that you actually contributing in violence of killing cow, animal, to do the welfare of other. Who is doing welfare for who? You killing one animal to feed the another animal. What good is that? This is not charity. So anyway, after that they took a book and they understood something. Now I'm going to go to At the end I had a question, and you're going to answer. List the examples of devotee who achieve perfection by practicing simply one process of 9 types of devotional Vaidhi Bhakti. Actually, these are Vaidhi Bhakti. Okay, Vidha Bhakti is written here. So, any student cannot answer 2, only 1. So, you give a chance to other. First thing, who achieved the desired goal of hearing Bhagavatam? Quick. Who got perfection by hearing Bhagavatam?
Parikshit Maharaj.
Parikshit Maharaj.
Very good. 2 person cannot answer, only 1. Very good. Thank you, Hema Govinda Prabhu. Who got perfection by speaking Bhagavatam? Quick. Sukadev Goswami. Okay, I am seeing the face. You cannot be twice answering. Third. Who got perfection by remembering God all the time?
Prahlad Maharaj.
I thought you answered before, no?
I did answer.
If you answer, you cannot answer again, Prabhu. You have to allow other to. Who became successful by offering prayers? This is today's chapter. None of you?
Is it King Amrish?
No, Hema Govinda Prabhu, you already answered, I thought before. You cannot answer, you already answered once. There are 9 devotees.
Is it Gajendra?
No.
Maharaj Prithu?
No. Is for another one.
Is it Akrur?
Yes. Who said that? So I know the person. Okay, Gopika Devi. Okay. Who got success by massaging the lotus feet of the Lord?
Lakshmi Devi.
Very good. Did you answer before already? No. Okay, good. Who got success by rendering service to the Lord as a servant, emblem of servant? Hanuman. I thought you answered before. No? Oh, your mother answered. Okay. Very good. Who became successful by worshipping in the temple? Who got perfection?
Prithu Maharaj.
Yes, very good. Who is that? Oh, Gorachan. Very good. Who became perfected by becoming friend of Krishna?
Arjuna?
Arjuna. Very good. Who became successful or perfection by offering completely surrender all his possession to God?
Bali Maharaj?
Yes. Who did that? Okay. Very good. 9. Very good. Now we are going to talk about... Now who can answer one devotee who made success by performing all 9 limbs of bhakti?
Ambarish Maharaj.
You already answered before. You cannot answer twice. You already gave the clue. Okay, thank you. But next time you have to remember. I know you know. But you have to give opportunity to others. So now I am going to start on the 15th chapter. But before that, I am going to give you little synopsis on the... Do we need to take 5 minutes break, Gopal Radhe Prabhu, or we are okay?
I'm fine. I don't know about others. Maybe you can give a 5-minute break. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes. I will take a
Okay, 5 minutes break. We will come back at 6 or 7. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Okay, we are ready? Gopal Radhe Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, you can start. Almost 2 minutes long.
Okay, let's see. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, we are back. So the discussion of this chapter was Vairagya and Gyan. There is a upside to this, that we need proper knowledge. So three knowledge we need to uncover. If you remember in the Annavilasita Sunyam verse, it says that Annavilasita Sunyam Jnana Karma Adi Anavritam. Anavritam means uncover. Uncover means you see what you need, you put in your backpack. When you need, you can pull it out. And what you don't need, you throw aside, knowing that you're never going to use this. So, in order to divide this, there are three types of knowledge we need to uncover or discover, you can say. You can write it down. First is Tat Padartha Gyan. Tat Padartha Gyan means the conception of God, who God is, how He is God. Anybody knows who made Krishna God? How Krishna is God? Who made Him God? Why the material scientists or material karmi people cannot understand God? You have to remember, you have to write it down. Transcendental is God beyond the nature, beyond the time, beyond the space. Who has access out of these three? None. So they will never understand. Krishna says this. Krishna says He is transcendental. So you write it down. Transcendental is God beyond the nature, beyond the time, beyond the space. So nobody has access until God reveal Himself, and He reveal Himself through His devotee. You understand now? So that's called Tat Padartha Gyan. Tat Padartha Gyan means who God is. Who made Him God? Krishna Himself revealed that by Himself, of Himself, for Himself. In America they say by the people, of the people, for the people. And Krishna says He made Himself God, for Himself, of Himself. This is a very big discussion. Okay, next knowledge we need to know is Tvam. Tvam means you, about the soul. The misconception of the soul, where the soul came from the spiritual world or fell down from the Golak Vrindavan, whole thing, whole discussion, that's another topic. But at least you have to have a clear idea who you are. So always give a reference. Mahaprabhu says, Jivera Sarupa Hai Krishna Nitya Das. We are eternal servant of Krishna. Those documents that give reference, focus on those. And the third knowledge we need to know, you write down, Jiva Brahma Oikya Sajujya Gyan. First one is Tat Padartha Gyan, who God is. Second is Tam Padartha Gyan, who you are. What is this material nature? And this relationship, can you put a little triangle? Maybe you can draw something. You, God, nature. Your relation with God, God's relation with you, God's relation with Maya, Maya's relation with God, Maya's relation with you, your relation with Maya. These 6 questions. When you understand this is called Sambandha Gyan. What are the Sambandha Gyan? Can somebody repeat, reflect me what I just said? The sixth question, everybody understood? You can draw like a triangle. Who you are, what is your relationship with God, who God is, what is His relationship with you. These two questions. Then God relationship with material nature relationship with God. There's another two questions. Then the material nature relation with you and your relation with material nature. When you can understand and realize all these six questions, you have established your Sambandha Gyan. Unless you have a clear understanding, you will have a still doubt. You will not have a speedy, like a fast track in Bhakti Yoga. So in this, and the third one is, I said the first three things, and then one thing has a sixth question. And then the third one is Jiva Brahma Oikya Sajujya Gyan. Where this concept of merging idea comes from. Is it possible Jiva can merge into Brahman? Where is Brahman coming from? What is Brahman? So these are some questions you write. When you understand as we go progress, you will find the answer. Now I'm going to summarize how it's applicable and relevant to you. First of all, if you are progressing in spiritual path, you must have to have two things developing in you. You remember yesterday we say, where is the testing machine? Somebody say within this body. No, you have to. Huh?
Within you.
Very good. You remember, Prabhu. Very good. Within each of us, we have a testing machine. So you have to test. How do you know you are progressing or not? Of course, we gave one answer that taste is the test. If you develop taste, then you are progressing. If you did not develop taste, then you are a little behind. You have to keep going. But today you are going to write it down. Bhagavatam 1.2.7. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayajita Janayati Asu Vairagyam Gyanam Chajat Ahetukam. Means, when you are advancing in spiritual path, see within you, these two things are developing or not. If it is not developing, you are not progressing. What are the two things in that sloka? It says, if someone with the help of the scriptures and his agent, the devotee or saint, we can develop our devotion, bhakti, then proper knowledge, proper apathy towards worldly substance will follow us. Everybody understood? Means detachment from this, not from the world, but from the attraction of the world. You know, like when you like a boy or a girl, is it the boy or girl you liking? No. You are seeing an attraction drawing your attention. You like the ice cream. We already discussed that. What attracts us is the taste. So if you see your taste or your attraction to the sense object is going down, not that you are rejecting. We are not rejecting the world. Just like that devotee paid obeisances to Prabhupada. And he was little emotional. Prabhupada said, are you okay? He said, yes, Prabhupada. I feel like I want to give up the world. Prabhupada said, oh, you want to give up the world, but you don't own the world. You follow? You cannot give up something you don't have a ownership. Who owns the world? We think we own the world. You don't own the world. You don't even own your body. Did you choose to born in that family? No. It is all divine arrangement. Karmana adaiva netrena. So, what I'm trying to say, when you see the attraction is going down and Sambandha Gyan is rising, you are advancing. In a simple way. Mother Gopika, what did you get? What are the two things? A sign. that you are advancing?
Can you repeat what you said before?
What? Okay, Mother Vishnu Priya, can you answer? And then she will listen, so this way it will be better.
I think you said when our attraction decreases and our sambandha increases.
Very good. You got it? Everybody got it? When you see your attraction for material enjoyment is going down, it is not that you giving up the enjoyment, you giving up the world or giving up this. You don't give up your family, you don't give up anything. But your false attachment is going down. And your relationship, that sixth question between nature, you and the God, is becoming more clear, means you are advancing. Okay. Then question comes, is this detachment is a component or it is temporary? Is it component of love of Godhead or is it temporary? Just to let you know, Madhya Lila chapter 6.254, Srila Prabhupada wrote 2 Bengali books, if you know already. In my time, that was a different name. Even in 78, I remember seeing that book. It's called Vairagya Vidya. Nowadays they changed the name. I don't know what's the new name they say. Prabhupada wrote a book called Vairagya Vidya. I remember I used to sell those. Vairagya Vidya and Gitar Gan. These 2 books Prabhupada wrote. And the rest book is translated from his English book. But these are the only 2 books he wrote in Bengali. So, this Vairagya Vidya, this detachment is eternal with the love of Godhead. Everybody understand? This is not something temporary, we have to be detached from the sense enjoyment. It is eternally there. In that verse is there, Mahaprabhu says, Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yogam Shikhartam Ekam Purusha Purana Sri Krishna Chaitanya Sariradhari Kripam Buddhi Tamham Prapadde. Prabhupada translated, let me take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, who has descended in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us real knowledge, his devotional service and detachment from whatever does not foster Krishna consciousness. He has descended because he is an ocean of transcendental mercy. Let me surrender unto his lotus feet. This is a famous verse. Prabhupada wrote a whole book on this one word, Vairagya Vidya. So this Vairagya, detachment from the material sense enjoyment, is components or eternal components or temporary transition. Who understood? Is eternal component of love of Godhead or is temporary transition?
It's an eternal component.
Wonderful. Very good answer. Okay. Now, this is a famous verse that Prabhupada put on this chapter. Anasaktisya vishayam jataraham upajunjato nirbandha Krishna sambandhe yuktam vairagyam uchyate. Srila Prabhupada writes, I will not associate with anything that has no connection with Krishna. That is the renunciation means. Renunciation means, Srila Prabhupada writes, he will not associate with anything that has no connection with Krishna. You know what it is? Which has no connection with Krishna? Can somebody tell me? That is the illusion. Illusion means that is not, that which is not. When you see something has no connection with Krishna, that is illusion. Okay, also another key point. Renunciation means death of false ego. Would you like to give up your false ego? Raise your hand. How many of you wants to give up your false ego? Everybody or just some? Rico, I don't see your hands up. Okay. If you want to give up, then you better develop the detachment. Because that's what it means. Now, Where are you? If somebody asks you a question. By the way, if some of you feel, gosh, so much need things to learn, but actually there is an enjoyment. I feel happy. I read 8 hours today. And I was feeling happy whole 8 hours. Of course, I take break. Every 2 hours I take break for 5 minutes for the eye rest. I do this for years. This is important. Why? Because unless you are on a goodness mood, you cannot relish knowledge. Please remember this. When the mind, intelligence, senses are solidly fixed in the mode of goodness, that time should be understood you are in Sattva Yuga, not in Kali Yuga. Then you have an access of knowledge. You will enjoy knowledge like a candy. Like eating ice cream, you will remember a sloka, you will be like tasting it. And you will say, you don't want ice cream? No, you're tasting better than ice cream. But some of you will feel like this, I can tell you. I used to feel like this. Oh my God, I don't enjoy the knowledge, bhakti knowledge. Yes, you can enjoy if you can fix your mind in goodness. Sattat sanjayate jnanam. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, in 14th chapter, Krishna says, Sattat sanjayate jnanam means only on Sattva Gun you will see the knowledge. And if you don't remember, try to come to Sattva Gun. Don't stay in Rajagun, Tamagun. Try to come to Sattva Gun. You will enjoy it. Now I'll tell you where you are today. This is a Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur inspiration, very nice. He said, you all are like a madman who became orphan because he lost his home. He was kidnapped, he lost his home, and Prabhupada gave a similar story, very nice. And he wanders in the street, collecting piece of paper and cloth. And he is so much focused in. And he remembered little bit that his father was rich, but he came to this fair, village fair, but the house is 5 miles far away, and in the crowd he lost connection with his father. And Prabhupada narrated this story that at one point this child got lost from his hand and slipped out because there were other children, this, that, and he was looking, he could not find because the child was playing, he forgot about looking, holding his father's hand or looking for where, and there was thousands and thousands of people everywhere. So eventually for half an hour he looked at, could not find, so he thought maybe his son went home. So he went back home, but he's very depressed because he took his son to the fair, village fair, it was for fun, but he could not find his son. When he went home, he found his son is not back. And he did not know what to do. He said, I don't want to go back there because if he comes back or somebody brings, he sent his servant. He said, go get him. I don't know where he is. I'd rather stay here. When he comes, I want to take care of him. In the meantime, the son got lost. And all of a sudden he remembers that his father is not here. All of a sudden that memory came, he started crying. And he's looking for, then he saw his father from a far distance. When he came nearby, that man did not look like his face. He said, what from far he looks like. Then after looking here, there, he saw his father many places, but they are not his father. Looks like his father's dress. Then finally he came outside the fair, in a corner, he's sitting and crying. So some ladies with the children going by, they saw him, hey, why are you crying? Why is your parents? He does not answer. Then some mother says, oh, maybe he just needs a toy. You boys, give him a little toy. You have so many toys. So they gave him one toy. He looked at the toy. He stopped crying for a few moments. Then again they left. Then he started crying again. He was not looking for the toy. Then after a little while, another family passed by. They saw him crying. They say, oh, are you okay? Where is your mommy? Where is your daddy? He doesn't answer, he just cries, he's missing them. Then at one point, another mother told to son, give him some water or give him some food, maybe one candy. So he looked at the candy, he stopped crying for a few moments. Then they left, he started crying again. Because he's looking for his father, real father. This is the situation we are in. Everybody is trying to help us, but they are not giving exactly what we need. Everybody is giving us material sense enjoyment, material comfort, all this help coming. Everybody is trying to be nice to this world. Everybody is nice to everybody. But ultimately nobody is helping. Until that child goes back to his son, he will never be completely happy. And if he goes back to his son, his father is rich. He never have to worry about anything. Our position is like this. Can you visualize like this? This is our position. We think people are helping in this world. We have a vaccination. We have a vaccine for coronavirus. Oh, great. But why the disease come? I don't even like the disease. Because we are in a wrong place. In spiritual world, everything is there for us. There is no need fighting. We don't need money. We have unlimited money. You have, each of us has unlimited money, unlimited everything. The whole process of bhakti is nothing but to go back home. Now I'm going to give you a clue. You please write it down in little keynotes. Attachment to this world. Attachment makes us psychologically rigid. Detachment makes us psychologically flexible. Everybody got it? Attachment makes us psychologically rigid. That's how Rupa Goswami Pad's explanation is. Detachment makes us psychologically flexible. I give you an example. I was driving when I saw this. A tree that is stiff breaks when battered by strong storm. But a flexible tree, I saw in Alachua, survives. What applies to trees also applies to us. Everybody got it? Attachment makes us psychologically rigid and detachment makes us psychologically flexible. Another key, Rupa Goswami, Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives on this. You please write it down. Detachment is absence of emotional dependence. I will explain you. This is what exactly every one of you, hopefully maybe not doing, but 99.9% people in this world, they do it. And we have to learn from it. What is it? Detachment is absence of emotional dependence. Detachment is absence of emotional dependence, not absence of emotion. Why? Because at the core of our existence, we are emotional. It is natural. Soul has Satchidananda, means at the core of our existence, we have a feeling. Emotion is eternally within us. But we are looking for spiritual emotion, not mental emotion. That is the problem. Some people fears, if I become detached, maybe you thought also, will I become emotionless, uncaring, stone-hearted? That's what people think. No! Detachment actually empowers you to care truly for others. Why? For it frees us from emotional dependence on them. When we are emotionally dependent on someone, do you know what I'm talking? Like you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband or wife or children. You are depending on their emotional. When the wife says, "Oh, I love you, honey," oh, I feel good. I won't tell other devotee, but I feel good because my wife loves me or my husband loves me. And it's a reality. Because for it frees us from emotional dependence on them. When we are emotionally dependent on someone, we make decisions based on consideration of their pleasure, without considering any higher principle or purpose. Being driven by such narrow consideration, we often act against their best interest, even our best interest. In practically I saw that. In general, if getting others' approval becomes the sole determiner of our actions, we cannot act assertively even when it is necessary. Okay, for an example, this is a true story. You know, I don't know if you ever saw in the village how the physician give a cholera injection to a child. It happened to my brother, and I was so scared, I didn't even want to go. So, when he went there, he was a little boy, and the doctor, he has a 3 candy jar. Now my mother took my brother to get the cholera injection, but when he went to the doctor place, doctor did not say, "I'm going to give you an injection." He says, "How are you? I have a lozenge. Which one would you like?" He had 3 varieties in a jar. And my brother was excited. So what did he do? Immediately saying, when the doctor said, "Which one you like?" He could not answer. You know why? Because he wants all 3 types. So doctor said, "It's okay. You can take as many you want." So he took his both hands filled with lozenges. I don't know, in America they have lozenges, it's a candy. As soon as both hands is filled with lozenges, my mother grabbed him near her knee, and the doctor just gave him the injection quick, and he could not move, he could not even touch his hand because his hand is filled with lozenges. And he started screaming, crying, "Ah!" And when he grew up, he told me, the mother said, "It was just a little ant bite, it was not a hurting, it's not a big deal, it's just a little ant bite." It was not an ant bite, it was a needle. But she made it like it's not big deal, don't cry. He said, "But you got so many candy, you can eat those lozenges." Okay, he's still crying, and then she took out one and put it in his mouth, then slowly his cry finished. He was enjoying the whole lozenge. So, what is that example demonstrate? This is our life. Multiple scenario. Million times over in gravity, we get a sense of, like Dhritarashtra's case. I don't know if I'm sure you read Mahabharata. I give you a little clue of Mahabharata. When Duryodhana came to his father the first time, Duryodhana told Dhritarashtra, Dhritarashtra does not know his son, how he looks like. He knows him by the sound, because he was blind from birth. So he said, "Father, I need to talk to you privately." And he's a prince, head of the 100. He says, "I have a plan that it is so difficult for me to live with the Pandavas here. I cannot live if they live on the same country. What to talk about the country if they live in the same city? What to talk about the same city if they live in the same palace? Impossible. So I have a solution. Especially one boy, Bhima. I just want to kill him." Dhritarashtra says, "No, absolutely not. How dare you say that? You don't remember, but I remember when I was a young boy, Bhima's father Pandu used to carry water for my bathroom because I was blind. I did not know where to get the water and everything. And he used to do all these things to help me as a brother. How can I ever... Then Duryodhana, see how this emotion practically, that's what we do every day. Or whenever we have emotional attachment. So then Duryodhana says, okay father, if you don't allow me to kill him, then you have one choice. You will see Bhima and you will never see me. I will kill myself. Let's stop there and you will never see me from today. I'll just go and kill myself. Dhritarashtra fell emotionally blinded by that affection. And he said, no, don't do this. He said, then you have to allow me to kill Bhima. That's why I started the next story, as you know. You know how he poisoned Bhima with the poison. Anyway, the whole episode beginning with like this. How this apply to us? Even the first sloka of Bhagavad Gita, what did mistake Dhritarashtra do? You remember the first sloka of Bhagavad Gita? Dhritarashtra uvacha. What did he say? Dharmasketre Kurukshetre Samaveta Jujusava Mamoka. He did not consider Pandavas as his own. He says Mamoka, my sons and the Pandu's sons. He separated them. How? As a father. Their father is dead. King like a father. King is like a father. But he did not act like a father. He separated. He said, my children and Pandu's children. That means he did not act as a king. He acted as a falsely emotional father. So you can relate with this both story. Because he was so emotionally dependent on Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra could never say no to him. Even when Duryodhana wanted to do reprehensible things to the extent of killing his cousins or even disrobing their wife in public, Draupadi. So Dhritarashtra's attachment comes out in Bhagavad Gita's first verse, as I mentioned, wherein he sees the Duryodhana party as his party and Pandava's party, others' party. So while treating as enemy his nephew, who revealed him like a father figure, and for whom he was meant to act as a surrogate father after the ultimately demise of their father. If he had been even slightly detached from Duryodhana, he could have acted assertively, Saptagun, to give the Pandavas their due, to protect Duryodhana from a painful death, and to protect the world from the catastrophe of Kurukshetra war. Can you see how mistake he did? So Dhritarashtra's example illustrates that attachment weakens. You please write it down. Attachment to the material relation to anybody or anything, it weakens like a W-E-A-K-E-N-S. Weak. It weakens. Whereas detachment empowers. Attachment weakens, whereas detachment empowers. When we cultivate detachment, we become empowered to have emotion without having emotion. Subvert our principle-centered life. This is needed. Now, if you read Bhagavatam, this is the one verse I found very nice. It's 11.2.48. Wonderful explanation given. But what I understood, I'm going to paraphrase. As I mentioned you, at the core of our existence, we are conscious being. Everybody knows that, right? Everybody understand that? To be conscious means to have emotion. And these emotions cannot be wished away. Difference, you please write it down. Difference between attachment, aversion, renunciation and devotion is based on the direction of our emotion. I'm going to repeat again. The difference between attachment and aversion. You know, aversion means you don't like somebody, you hate somebody, you hate something. Like coronavirus. Can you say you love coronavirus? No, you really don't like coronavirus. You hate, you feel like hating. I don't want coronavirus ever come near me. You feel like this. It is there in this world. Liking and disliking. So you write it down. Difference between attachment, aversion, renunciation and devotion is based on the direction of our emotions. And the next point is very nice in that verse. Grihitave indriye artham jono desti na rishyati Vishnur mayam idam pashyan savai bhagavottama. With renunciation is meant to be transition between aversion and devotion. So let's see what we understand. We'll summarize on that. So devotion means, what did you understand from that line? Devotion means we are absorbed in Krishna, emotionally fulfilled in Krishna. When your emotion is going towards Krishna, then it is devotion. Otherwise it is not devotion. When we are emotionally investing in Krishna, we get everlasting, ever increasing returns of joy. When we are emotionally invested in this world and worldly object, in the short run we get the return of anxiety, in long run we get misery, and in between small amounts of pleasure. Are you ready for that? When you invest emotion, your emotion in the material world, the world object, for anything, what do you get? For a short run, you get anxiety. And long run, you get misery. And in between, you get some pleasure. And you think you are happy. Oh, I am okay. Yeah, I have money in the bank. And I am buying another house. Yeah, I am going on vacation. That's all it is. It's not real happiness. And mistake is where you have to learn how to withdraw your emotion. You can be in the world, but don't invest your emotion. So what we should do? We need to disinvest in the world, but after doing this, we may still be filled with anger, aversion, resentment. We speak bad about others. Whatever it is which you are disinvested, so we are in the same level of advancement and consciousness. So let's sum up with this. Renunciation means there is no emotional involvement. What is renunciation means here? No emotional involvement. Just like a child, we may be playing with toys. Now, how old is Abhigyan Prabhu? Did you ever play with toys when you were a little boy?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Do you like to play now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
No. You don't play with the toys. You can, but you don't feel like to.
And toys.
Yes. So why? Because you withdraw your emotion. Try to understand this. Same psychology. You can advance if you can understand that. Today's society is characterized by aversion to commitment. So people are not even attached to their family. Not becomes they are renounced, but it is a false. So let's boil down to this key point and then I will end. How many of you would you like to meet Krishna face to face in a few days? Raise your hand. Oh, everybody? Okay, good. Here is the good news. Krishna is more eager to show himself to us than we are to see him. So what do we need? We just need to be excited to want to see Him. Krishna is always somewhere around the corner waiting to reveal His darshan to us. He could reveal Himself in any Mahamantra chanting japa, like tomorrow Gopal Radhe Prabhu is arranging. He could pop out of any page of Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam when you are reading. He can show Himself in any of His deity form that we see. Like imagine you paying obeisances to your house deity and the deity started talking, I'm hungry, can you give me some food? Like, whoa! Who is talking? Is it really? And the deity say, yeah, you think I cannot talk? You talk, I'm the God. Be happy, it may happen. He could reveal Himself through any conversation we have with any of His devotees. He can reveal Himself in any of the katha we hear or through any of the service we render. Doesn't this sound exciting? Yes, say yes. We should always be like a curious child waiting for a magic to happen at any moment, or like a child playing a treasure hunt game, eagerly waiting to find the clue to the treasure. We need to be excited about spiritual life, about Krishna consciousness, about our prospect to meet and see Krishna face to face. It is this sense of adventure, excitement, which will bring adventure and excitement to the practice of Krishna consciousness, and thereby making Krishna more excited to meet each of us. So I'll end here. I'm going to give you the final quote, and then you have to give me some feedback. First thing is what we learned today. Conclusion. Detachment does not mean you own nothing. It means nothing owns you. This is very important. You cannot get out of the material maya towards Krishna unless you understand this line. Detachment does not mean you own nothing. It means nothing owns you. The second point Prabhupada writes, Srila Prabhupada said, I will not associate with anything that has no connection with Krishna. Very nice way Prabhupada put it. So we also mentioned renunciation means death of. Let's celebrate the departure day for who? Who remembers?
False ego.
Very good. Haribol, goodbye. I'm glad he's dead. Like this, false ego. The false ego. Very good. Renunciation means death of false ego. But it's not just the word, it is a substance. You have to really renounce. Now, I'm going to repeat the same thing I mentioned before. Attachment makes us psychologically rigid, and detachment makes us psychologically flexible. The example I gave, like a tree. Very good. Another thing I also mentioned, detachment is absence of emotional dependence, not absence of emotion. This is what you all do in the family with your brother, sister, mother, father. Don't depend on emotional. You don't consider like that. Don't withdraw your emotion, but don't depend. Don't make that emotional dependence. It should be absence of emotional dependence. It's true. Okay. So I also mentioned that at the core of our existence we are conscious being. The difference, what is the difference between bhakti, between Hare Krishna people and the karmi and the jnani and the tyagi, sannyasis? What is the difference? I gave one line, you remember? Difference between attachment, aversion, renunciation and devotion is based on the direction of your
Emotions.
Very good. This is very important. Now you write down the new thing I just found from Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur says. He said renunciation belongs to spiritual world. The consciousness behind action is more important than just the action. And this is my last quote for today. Srila Prabhupada says, another one, I think I mentioned this few weeks back. Renunciation is the result of genuine spiritual emotion. You must memorize this. Renunciation is the result of genuine spiritual emotion. Do you feel to cry for Krishna? Yes. I'm answering for you, to myself. Yes, you want to cry for Krishna. You want to cry to Krishna. You want to cry for Krishna, to Krishna, of Krishna. When you cry, it is natural. Your heart is softening. That time renunciation is awakening within you. That renunciation is the result of genuine spiritual emotion. Okay, we have 5 minutes. Anybody has any question, comment, reflection? Yes.
Prabhuji, can you repeat that quote? I think my Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was renunciation belongs to the spiritual world, and then
the consciousness behind action is more important than the action. Like you are cooking, okay? If you are cooking, I'm giving you a practical example. A Kormi is also cooking in their house and you are cooking in your house. What is the difference? The difference is he is not thinking of offering to Krishna. You are thinking, you cooking this very nicely, Krishna will love it. Oh, I hope Krishna enjoys it. And you thinking like this, I am assistant to Radharani, like this. This consciousness is more important than the cooking itself. But the other guy is thinking, oh, I'm cooking good, I'll eat. He's thinking about himself. But you're thinking of Krishna offering. You follow? So consciousness behind the action is very important. That's what he meant. Any other question? Or you want me to call you out one by one? I want some reflection. What are you going to take with you? One by one. Please start. Okay? Turn it on and go ahead.
we don't want to demonize or romanticize the world. We want to utilize the world for the pleasure of Krishna.
Sounds like a very wonderful pure devotee talk. When you think like this and you act like this, you are pure devotee. Very good.
Detachment is the absence of emotional dependence. It's not emotion.
Very good, Gaurachand Prabhu.
Detachment actually empowers us for caring for others because it frees us from emotional dependence.
Scary. Try to apply this. You'll have a better relationship with your mother, father, children, everybody. You will be very surprised. Okay? Next.
Renunciation means renunciation doesn't mean that you don't own anything. It means nothing owns you. And I like it the best.
Yes. Very good.
When your attraction of the world decreases, then you are improving.
Very good. Wow. Very nice.
When your guru tells you to read, it is bhakti, but when you read it by yourself, it is jnana.
Yes. Very good. Very good.
Attachment weakens and detachment empowers.
Who is speaking?
Manjari.
Oh. I cannot see you. Oh. Okay. Next.
The difference between attachment, absorption, and renunciation and devotion is based on the direction out of our emotion.
Wonderful. So you're going to watch your emotion every moment? Well, try your best. At least 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, then increase, and then you become completely aware. Then you can direct them to Krishna, you are pure devotee instantly. Very good. Okay, next. Who didn't say yet? No, you...
In our spiritual practice, we should first begin by thinking that we are Atma and not this body, and we are practice spiritual world.
Very good. Wonderful. Who is left? Pitambar Prabhu.
Yes, so I learned that transcendental is beyond nature and space.
And time.
And time, yes.
You know anybody can go beyond these three?
No.
So they don't talk to me. I really had a challenge in the school, in the UF. One boy was like challenging. He said, who made God? I said, God is beyond these three things. You have access? He said, no. I said, then you cannot talk. You have to be humble in order to learn about it. And he understood. It is not something somebody's subject matter to talk. Okay? Very nice. Who else?
Detached doesn't mean you own nothing, but means nothing owns you.
Wonderful. Who else is left?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. And in the time of Chaitanya Prabhu, there was a devotee who wasn't able to read the book of Bhagavad Gita, but he understood that Lord Krishna became a Parthasarathi for in the chariot of Arjuna to carry out the things supposed to be happening.
And very good. He got this by the mercy of his Guru. Wonderful. Thank you. Anybody left? Did I miss some?
One important thing I want to share again. Three types of Gyan. Tattva Gyan, Swam Gyan and Brahma Gyan. And the relationship between these three.
Yes, Prabhu. Rico Ali, you didn't say anything.
I have detachment, good strength, attachment, weakness for one of the topics.
Very good. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Attachment weakens. You don't want that. Very good. Who else is left? Nilachal Prabhu.
Illusion is not attracted to Krishna.
Wow, very nice, Prabhu. So don't fall for the illusion. You will miss Krishna. Good. Thank you. Who else is left? Nilachal Prabhu.
Yes.
What are you going to memorize from this class? Something you will keep in your heart. One word. What did you learn? Okay, you think. Who else is left? Mother Madhurima? Did you say? Did she say?
Yeah, I
Oh, you said, okay. Anybody is left that we didn't call? Mother Bharati.
I learned that attachments make us psychological, flexible.
Wow, very good. Okay. Am I missing someone? Or everybody said?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, may I ask a question, please?
Yes, Mother.
You mentioned today that we need to really wish to see Krishna. But I've heard before that we need to act in such a way for Krishna to want to see us.
Yes, both are correct. You act such a way that you want to see Krishna, and you act such a way that Krishna wants to see you. Mother Ishopanishad, and then we'll end.
Jai Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I just came on at about late. I don't know even what time it was, but you were speaking about detachment. It means you do not own anything and nothing owns you. And renunciation means renunciation of false ego. Did I get that right?
Yes, it's the death of false ego.
Okay, and absence of the emotions. So when we withdraw our emotions, right?
Not absence of the emotion, emotional dependence.
Emotional dependence.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Emotional dependence.
Yeah. Because we have emotion, we cannot get rid of emotion. That's who we are made of.
Right.
Okay. Okay, everybody is covered. Gopal Radhe Prabhu, the last final shot. He's thinking everybody took the best part.
No, I
You
really
can
like,
repeat.
I really like this part that detachment doesn't mean you own nothing, but it means that nothing owns you.
Wonderful.
And there was a very nice discussion I was having today. I was with one of my friends about Bhagavad Gita 12.12.
Yes.
Krishna says better than Gyan is Dhyan, and even better than Dhyan is work in renunciation. So I was confused that work in renunciation is Karma Yoga. How is that better than Dhyan and Gyan? So my one friend, he explained to me that renunciation is actually Bhakti Yoga, which is detachment of fruits, of fruited results, and that is what we talked about today a lot about was detachment.
Very good.
Renunciation.
Very good. So next week we are going to do pure Raganuga Bhakti, Brajavasi's mood and everything. And I'll send one question for the overview writings. And this way we are all going in a good speed. And I really from my heart, I appreciate each of you for giving your valuable time and paying attention. Because purposely I asked the question and I see actually you are paying attention. And that's wonderful. And I pray to Prabhupada and Krishna that you all become pure devotee and help the world. You remember, our purpose is not to transcend the world only. We need to transform the world. We cannot be selfish. Loknath Maharaj, Radhanath Maharaj, Bhakti Charan Maharaj, they dedicate so much to transform and help others. Not only for ourselves, we should help ourselves. Don't help others without helping yourself. First you help yourself, Mahaprabhu says. Janma sarthak kari kara para upakar. First you become pure and then make other pure. One by one, like this. Thank you. Let's chant one more time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpa taruvesya, kripa sindhu vacha, patitanam pavanebho, vaishnavebho namo namo. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai.
I have one last announcement. Tomorrow is Ekadasi. Kamaika Ekadasi is the first Ekadasi of Chaturmasi also. So we are organizing, the youths of New Orleans and everybody, we are organizing a Japa retreat, a 6 hours Japa chanting retreat. I have put the link on the group, our Bhakti Shastri group, both English and Bengali. If you can join, it will be very, very wonderful. Starting tomorrow 7 o'clock till almost 3 o'clock, with every 2 hours we will take like an hour's break. So if you can join, it will be very, very nice.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Bhakti Janani Ekadashi ki jai. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.